Hello and welcome back to my RC channel. I'm AndyRC and today I'm checking out the Eachine dustX58. This is a bind and fly and it's only available in FR Sky due to the flight controller that it comes with, and I'll talk more about that a bit later. But this is a brushless tiny whoop size model. It is 58mm from motor to motor, and it's a little bit bigger than that because we have got this carbon surround here, so they aren't ducked like a tiny whip. It is to protect it if you hit something so that it doesn't catch a prop. But yeah, it's really tiny, and this carbon surround here is really thin, and the frame is really thin as well. I could definitely see that breaking. The thing is though, this thing is really light. It weighs just 35 grams with a battery, and it weighs 25 grams without a battery, so there's not a lot of weight behind it to snap the frame, but I'm sure I could manage it somehow. So we have got a micro lozzy here, and I have a problem with that, and I'll get onto that in a bit. We've got BL S 4 amp ESCs in there, so only a 1 cell model this. And then we have the Tiny Fish open source flight controller. It is really tiny, and that is why we can only have it so far in FR Sky, because it's got a built-in receiver with telemetry. And yes, that is also a problem. This thing is browning out like crazy on me. I don't know if they have changed something or I've got a faulty one. I just seem to have really bad luck with these FR Sky all-in-ones with telemetry and brownouts. The thing just barely takes off, and then I lose control because it is resettings like the regulator on there, and I'm quite frustrated with that because I've seen other reviews out there and theirs just flies perfectly, and mine, I get the ESC resetting. It's definitely a brownout again. I keep wondering if I'm doing something wrong, but you know, it's only these micros that I have this problem with, and I'm going to try and rectify it because I think it's browning out here with this micro lozzy, because we've got the camera powering up here. So yeah, it's all-in-one camera, 25 milliwatt, 48 channel, palette NTSC switch ball on the front button, and then we've also got the band changer on a long press, and then the individual channels on a short press. No instructions with this whatsoever. Yeah, but it's an F3 flight controller. Interestingly, if you plug it into the USB port here, nothing happens. You have to power it as well. I guess it's just the nature of this tiny flight controller, and it is in a diamond configuration there as well. It does have a board alignment on it. I think it's minus 135 degrees, something like that. We have these tiny brushless motors as well. They are 0703, so really tiny brushless motors there. And then I think these are a 40mm prop. So yeah, and then the camera is just held on here. It looks like a 3D printed mount. Pretty nice actually. You can see the aerial coming out the back there, and that is for the control, so for the FR Sky. And then we have a bind button under there as well, and just a rubber band to hold the battery in. So brownouts is not the only problem I've had with this model. The battery that came with it is a 1 cell, and just check this out. The battery has come completely puffed, so it's useless. And first of all I thought, well, that is why I'm getting brownouts, because the battery is no good. So it's a 450 milliamp battery, and I tried some other batteries. So I've got these 500 milliamp ones here, 25C, still browns out. 300 milliamp browns out, and I just thought maybe it was the C rating, so I got some of these 70C nanotechs, and it still browned out. So I guess I have a faulty one, but I will switch this connector out for a JST connector and see if that will help, but I'm not too confident about that. So what else have we got in the box? Well, we have a charger for the micro lozzy, but that's no good here for this battery. It feels really dangerous, that does. And then we have got some Velcro here, and a Velcro strap, and a spare set of props. And that is everything. No instructions or anything like that. but it comes with Betaflight installed on it, and it was really easy to set up on my Tyrannus as well. Just the usual setup that you would expect to have to do with Eachine. So yeah, but I'm going to show you now what it's doing on me, because I can't fly it in this configuration at all. So the quadcopter is armed, but then it is just flipping over.
Telemetry lost.
I'm resetting. Try again. Resetting. System is browning out. I have tried it with multiple batteries, so it's not just this battery either. There is an issue with this one. Okay, so I've switched the battery connector out for a JST, and now I'm using these high voltage batteries. They are a 1 cell 80C battery, and the brand is Bonka, and they are from Rotorius FPV. Now the problem is this battery, it weighs 8 more grams than the stock 400 milliamp battery, so 18 grams in total, which is almost the weight of the quadcopter. So I'm definitely going to be losing some performance there, but maybe gain some with the slightly higher voltage. But the first thing to try is to just see if it flies. So let's arm, and it flies. It does. So yeah, definitely a brownout. Can't say whether this is like a faulty regulator or something, but it's flying now. And I don't think it's got a lot of punch. It is very windy here today though. Well, let's throttle up. Oh, it's getting knocked around. That's full throttle, so yeah. Need to find then a smaller battery with a JST connector on it, because at the moment that isn't very powerful. A brush model would be more powerful, but I guess it is tiny. Oh, I don't want to go near the grass, otherwise I'll lose it. I think it's too windy for acro as well. Oh, look at that, getting blown around. I suppose this is really an indoor flyer, but I just wanted to see what the punch would be like, and that is it. Like I say, that battery's probably a bit too heavy for it, but it's no longer browning out. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, almost lost the power then. Yeah, I don't think this is going to do acro very well. Nope. Could I just leave it in angle mode? Yeah, I think it's too heavy. Right, okay. So there, yeah. Browning out and needed more current for my model. Kind of frustrating because I've seen people review this and have no problems whatsoever. So maybe it was just the puffed battery. But I tried other batteries and it was doing the same thing, so switching out the connector worked. Anyways, let's go in for a landing. So here's some DVR footage taken from my Fat Shark HD3s, and I have to say this model flew much better indoors. Something that I had to do was tilt the camera down because it's at quite an angle, and it's just held in with some double-sided foam sticky tape, so I had to move that. Otherwise it was too fast for indoors, really, which makes me think, is this really meant for outdoors? But anyway, like I say, because of the lack of power, etc., that I've got from holding that big battery, it suited itself to indoors much better. It never quite felt locked in though, I have to say, and it just had these stock Betaflight PIDs on it, and when I flipped it into acro it just didn't feel locked at all, so I guess the PIDs need messing with. But as you can see here, it flies nicely indoors. Now I was getting just about a 2.5 minute flight out of this model, and the flight did end with an actual brownout rather than the battery dying. So I think there is an issue with mine, and I would say that if you are interested in this model, go and check out some other people's reviews, because some people have been raving about this model, saying it's fantastic, and my experience wasn't that at all, maybe because I got a faulty one with a puffed battery. So I would say definitely check out other reviews. But from my experience, if I had received this like this and had paid for it, I think I'd be pretty disappointed. And from my experience, the X73S has been the best one-cell brushless model that I have received so far. Okay, it doesn't have a protector on it, but it flew much better. I had a better experience, so I'll link that in the below as well. But the camera quality of this was really good, considering it's just a dipole. But yeah, I can't say I was too impressed with this one. And like I say, I'd recommend the X73S over this one for sure. But if they send me another one and it gets fixed, then I'll be sure to review it. But yeah, as for now, this is my review of the dustX58. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. And yeah, there you go. So as it comes in for its brownout, I'll say, as always, thanks so much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.